Hi everyone, welcome. I am so excited for tonight. How's everyone doing? Let me make sure I can see everything going on. I think we've got a little bit of a delay, unfortunately, when it does this. Okay, well, hi guys. So tonight we are going to get into stuff about the appeal that was just filed, the Richard Allen appeal that was just filed. We're going to get into it's an appeal, right? So it's everything to do with what's already in the trial record. So it's not necessarily new things, but it's like they expanded on things and we got more details, right? So for tonight's show, I'm going to bring on someone to shoot the shit with me and also like be my emotional support dog. So everyone, welcome.
Woof woof.
Whoop, whoop. Keith can't get his camera to work right now. We might just be stuck with his voice.
Yeah, I'm getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Hi, thank you for the hair comments. So, and I called you my emotional support because you guys, I get so much more relaxed. I have someone I can talk to when I'm on here, you know? Or otherwise, like,
Yeah, no, no biggie. I totally get it. I love co-hosting. I hate hosting. It's not my thing. I love co-hosting.
awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna say hi to everyone I see in the chat so far. Allison, Belly, Emily, Critical True Crime, DB, what up? Thane, Granny, Grace Space, Carrie, Lara, Amber, Mar, Nunya. I feel like I don't know who that is. One and Unindicted. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Love you.
Just about all the big fish are here. Okay.
All of them. Hold on one moment. Sorry, guys, I need some vapor encouragement. All right, so tonight I just tried to compile basically all the things that I thought were kind of little details we didn't really know about before that we got in this, and then I want to expand on some of it because I did learn things in this appeal that changed my theory or my ideas of what happened. For example, the the main people I personally believe allegedly did it is Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall. And I think, Elvis Fields with them, and who knows who else. Ron Logan was a part of the shit too, obviously. But I also, for a while, was starting to think that Logan Holder, Brad's son, was involved. Because his behavior after the murders, obviously, he's a young boy. He finds out his girlfriend has got killed. Like, that's going to shake him up. Especially now we know that Logan was supposed to meet up with her, or she asked him to meet up with her that day that everything happened. So, but his behavior went a little beyond that. Like, he started drinking more and acting out and doing more poorly in school. And I mean, he was 16, so you Amber Holder's stepmom saying that, like something's going on with this kid. And I don't know, it just seemed a little more deeper than my girlfriend of 2 months was killed. It seemed he was genuinely bothered by something. What do you think about that, Keith?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that we believe those individuals were involved, right? Because for the longest time, law enforcement believed that. Multiple law enforcement officers believed that there was some serious involvement with these people. It's the whole reason the Franks memo, excuse me, that's the whole reason the Franks memo exists in the first place. So, the famous quote, "It was an investigation that we did." And so I think this isn't kind of just randomly cherry picking something, or no one's, making anything up per se. This was, the result of a initially thorough investigation that just ended up being ignored by Unified Command.
Yeah. And I want to say tonight is going to have a lot of speculation. I do that a lot. I like to just say the shit that goes through my mind sometimes. I'm ADD. I don't know, like a million things going on up there. I change my theory like 3 times a day. So I'll try to be mindful of that when something is just like rumor, etc., versus like what we know, what is fact. That being said, start. Y'all, I used to make fun of Howie all the time. All the fucking time. Guess what we're doing?
By the way, before we dive into it, I have the brief up. I have the All Eyes GitHub. I have trial transcripts from Sleuthy. Delphi Docs is up as well. Pretty much anything we need. So if we don't know,
he came prepared. Thank you. Same, DB. Same. I love to make things up. Exactly. Listen, my second is based on common sense. Okay.
I think also if you look at the last few lives that have been done by most people after this brief was released, it just sounds like everyone's fucking making something up nowadays. So why can't we?
Right? Oh, honey. I don't know if you're allowed to do this on streams, but Amber, same girl. Eyes says Brad told in Gautier that Ellie told him and Logan the girls were deceased when collecting their phones, but he wasn't there. Didn't give Ellie his phone. Logan only said she's missing. Odd. Very odd. Alright, so let's get into this. What we didn't know. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to touch on is the PCA. Hey! I can't hear you.
You can see me?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see you. Hey, Seth. What up?
Hi.
Okay. Hey. Okay, so can you claim someone was the last to have contact with the victims without real evidence of said contact? I.e., like a witness seeing them together, but being able to confirm, no, it was definitely Richard Allen. I know that guy. Or like a digital footprint between Richard and victims, which that's what I would take as being able to state he was the last person to have contact with him. No,
I would agree.
like I feel like you need a little more than, well, we think he's bridge guy, so he's bridge guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
we didn't even. I don't want to dive ahead, but we didn't establish that bridge guy was the one that actually told them down the hill, let alone followed them because the video cuts off.
right.
Right.
There's so many unknowns, and back then, even more. So, the story Detective Liggett told the judge. On October 13th, 2022, the state applied for a warrant for Allen's home, car, and electronics. In Detective Liggett's probable cause affidavit, he concluded that Allen is the last individual with contact with LG and AW, and is the individual depicted on the Monon High Bridge from the video taken from LG's phone. He reasoned that Allen admitted he was wearing a blue jacket and a head covering like bridge guy, and was on the trail bridge around the time of the abduction. Excuse me. Okay, so we know he lied, um, because come to find out, Sarah Carbaugh saw a muddy guy with a tanker, no blood. Which I feel kind of bad because I made fun of Sarah Carbaugh. I thought she was full of shit, but really, like the law enforcement that was adding on, right?
Yeah, I proudly made fun of her. I still will. I mean, Andy made fun of her, and I think he's one of the nicest guys in this whole case, right? But
Right.
I mean, muddy tan first interview, muddy tan second interview, muddy tan first part of third interview, and then now muddy bloody with a blue jacket. Just
Right.
might as well have said, just tell me what you want to hear first.
Oh, it's Judgy Day. Hi, Judgy. I was just watching Jen solve the case. A bear in a train. Oh, fine. I was in there too. Keith, that's the one I was gonna say. I was like, were you an angry, happily? I forget what the fuck his name is. It's Jim. Happy, angry lawyer or something. Anyway, he had him today. And
No, I was watching Mata, then I tuned into a couple of the ops and just got lost track of time.
okay, well, he's hilarious. But he was saying the sketch looks like a bear. And it absolutely fucking does.
Like the first one, like the one in the brief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my audio set. Hold on. I think you're telling me.
I hear you fine. Yeah, the makeup's on. Haven't gotten the right what tone, is that what they call it? Just can't get it right.
This way better, guys.
Wait, that might be better.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe up a little. Could be wrong. Here, I'll sound check it.
1, 2, testing. Happily Angry Lawyer. Thank you. Shout out to Happily Angry Lawyer. It's pretty hot too, so that's always fun, ladies. Gym for 2 hours. Bad shit happens. Oh, you disagree with me? Oh yeah, totally. This is terrible. You snippety little bitch. Thank you.
Okay, heard better.
I hear you better now, suddenly.
Okay.
DB, I saw you going crazy in that chat a couple times. Because he was like saying, "Oh, this happens all the time." DB wanted to die.
Like just the shittiness
Like
that was in the brief, or
the pretrial treatment.
oh, all right, let's see you do it. Like, not you. You know what I mean?
All right, next up. All right, so then we get into the audio. This, for me, was new in a way, or expanded details, because we had heard rumors that inmates were telling him to kill himself or threatening him and all that shit, right? We heard all those rumors, but we couldn't verify it. And during the trial, obviously, these videos had their audio pulled. So we didn't get to hear the other shit that was going on in the background. So some of this follows. The audio also presents a vivid picture of solitary confinement's harsh conditions. Staff talk callously to Alan. Guards remark how long feces is on his back. Inmates tell him to kill himself. The medical staff ignore obvious signs of SMI and over-medication. In one video, medical personnel ask Alan about his cholesterol and blood pressure while ignoring his catatonia and drool. Without the audio, this video presents a misleading impression that the medical professionals are attentive when in fact they are not. So they just couldn't even care less about the fact that he was just falling apart.
Yeah. The biggest takeaway that, like, I don't know, when I read through this, one of the first things I thought to myself was like, how are people going to defend against like what is being stated in the brief? And again, it's not it's not anything we don't really already know. I think it's just maybe worded and told in kind of story form a little bit like differently, possibly better, just depending on your opinion on things. But it's just like the idea that he went through all this. I mean, he was in solitary. If you look at the actual definition of solitary, it's not like people are saying, oh, he wasn't in solitary. He was talking to his doctor and other guards, and it's minimal contact. It's not no contact. So kind of throw that out. But also, it's just like, yeah, he was covered in his own feces. He drank toilet water. He, for some reason, was allowed to run against the wall and bang his head up against the wall. I mean, what else? He was eating his paperwork. He was doing all these crazy things like that. No normal person, we won't even talk about the spork and all that other stuff that happened. But like, hey, he had a fucking tablet.
Oh yeah,
he had a tablet. He was fine. And it's like, I'm actually starting to get concerned that this is how these people treat maybe like their kids, right? Like they're like Rick was just an iPad kid. Everything like. iPad kids rub shit on themselves all the time. Doesn't matter.
I mean, that is such a good point, that this really, really was like the nail in the coffin of it wasn't solitary confinement. Or no, fucking Jerry on the panel, like the most evil, dead eyes in the world. And that wasn't solitary confinement. Like, fuck you, bro.
As something was actively eating away at him, by the way. Like,
right, like he's dying inside because he knows what he's doing.
Body. Yeah, it's probably because maybe he knows a reckoning's coming. Who knows?
I don't fuck it. But what was I gonna say? Anyway, that being said, what's her face? Susan Hendricks. Can't stand her. What's up, Susie? You watching? What's up? Susie was like, oh yeah, well, he had a tablet. He had a tablet. Oh, he had a broken tablet. Right. The tablet that was most often broken. The tablet that he was obviously too far deep in psychosis to probably figure out how to use. I can't imagine he's catatonic and drooling and like, let me pull up Facebook.
Yeah. Susan Hendricks is hilarious because also you know, it's totally fine that what's happening in Rick's situation, rolling around in his feces, banging his head up against the wall, these are the things, but we're so terribly sorry you had to go through what you had to go through, Pat Westphal. We're so sorry for you. And
Oh yeah.
the flawed logic of that in and of itself is, it's like, well, now you're kind of making it a little bit more more conspicuous that you have certain beliefs, in my opinion. And she blocked me on Twitter for that. Unblock me, Susan, coward.
She blocked me too. She can't handle the pressure. Like everyone's like there's a support club. Susan Hendricks blocked me. Susan Hendricks can't take shit. All right. So the next one says guards extracted a skinny, wide-eyed Alan with blood on his forehead. Alan screamed for his dad, asked guards to hold his hands, and yelled, "Roger, Marvin, wait for it." That part like chokes me up because I'm so close to my dad, and I could just like, it's hard not to imagine yourself in that situation. Guards ordered Alan to cuff up. Naked and confused, he clutched the sink and shook. When officers entered, Alan begged to be put on an airplane and told them not to believe his last confession. So he's like out of it, but also still having some wherewithal every now and then, having little breakthroughs like, hey, by the way, don't believe my last confession.
So I don't know if I missed that. I don't know if that came out at a time where I was like kind of away from everything. It's new to me that he said, "Don't believe my last confession." Have you heard that anywhere?
Not until the appeal.
Has anyone like chat? Have you?
Chat. I don't know how delayed we are in this stream. I got a new memory card, or like upgraded my memory for my computer, and my Sims game runs great. Like everything's going great, but here we are, still got a fucking delay.
You know, typical girl, just upgrade your computer to like max quality, just play Sims.
Just listen.
But hey, that works for you. That works.
Listen, guys. The Sims 4 requires, first of all, there's like 1 million expansion packs. 1 million. And they're all, I think I'm using like 100 gigabytes for that shit. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a lot. And then you have like the mods and shit. So don't judge me. Okay? Shout out Sims 4. I love you.
Okay, so it's slow rolling in, but it looks like a lot of people are saying no. Grayspace said, I knew about that from one of Ange's. We should have checked with Ange. But an audio is all new to us in the appeal. Okay. So then I think it's safe to say that, like, aside of Grayspace, who typically knows everything, I'm not kidding. I don't think there's ever been a time where she hasn't been able to clear something up for me, especially on X. But okay, I'm not going to read ahead in this chat because it's distracting me. But okay, it sounds like no one knew that he turned around and said, "Don't believe my confessions." One of the questions I have, and this is maybe for like the lawyers, if there's, you know, we've got a couple tech lawyers in here. I know you guys are from Texas, part of the conspiracy, but one of the things I want to know is, like, if Rick was in a state of psychosis and like was recovered from it, right? Would they have to re-Mirandize him to like, or are they just kind of sitting there waiting for him to like spontaneously confess? I wonder what that like kind of looks like from like a constitutionality standpoint, because I'm very like, especially when it comes to the prison system and the medical field, that was not taught in school.
Way above my pay grade.
Yeah, same. Anyways, just a question, Ad. Sorry.
Okay, I need to do something. Holding. Hold down. All right, next up. During transport. Okay, here we go. We're told him not to believe his last confession. Okay. While being transported to see Dr. Walla, another inmate yelled, "Kill yourself, Richard Allen." And, that's just that, like, one little line they caught. So, confirmed, God knows what else these guys were shouting at him, right? During transport for a forced injection, Allen screamed, spoke incoherently, asked for his mommy and daddy, rambled about suicide and time travel, and within 7 minutes claimed to be both the stupidest and smartest person ever, and repeated, "Wait for it." A guard told him the games are over and commented on feces on him. Allen responded tangentially. Excuse me. "Rocky Balboa is my favorite actor. Clap on, clap off." A guard noted the feces has been on him for a while. Why were they just letting him have feces on him? I don't imagine they want to deal with that.
Yeah, and what does the games are over even mean? Like, I don't think
because
that's
they're like always faking it.
Right.
It's faking it. I wonder if they thought that when you fucking did the fork thing.
Yeah, and it sounds like to me the whole like Rocky Balboa clap on, clap off. I've heard, I'm not an expert, I'm not going to pretend like I am, but when you're in a state of psychosis, a lot of like old memories will be like rehashed and you'll kind of like express those. So I wonder if that's like kind of what was happening with him. Why am I losing my voice?
You are. All right. During a shower transport, Allen spoke incoherently, repeatedly saying, "There is a God, please don't do this," and make it painless. With feces on his face, he asked to be euthanized and whether his wife was present. He said he was King Michael, claimed he had started World War III, tried to save his family and Donald Trump, sang hymns, quoted scripture, and asked to be cryogenically frozen. June 20th, guards carried a catatonic, drooling Allen to the infirmary. The medical professional discussed with Allen his cholesterol and blood pressure rather than his non-responsiveness and involuntary jerking. Allen stared blankly when asked the date or season. Can you imagine someone saying, like, "Oh yeah, your cholesterol's doing great," and this guy's just...
Like, have you seen the fucking gash in my head? Or my raccoon eyes? We're worried about my cholesterol right now. Have you seen me?
Right.
Do you smell that, doctor? Do you smell what that is? Like, what? Like, go to the ER with like a snapped leg, and they go in there like, well, just something to think about. You lose about 10 or 15 pounds, you won't have the flu so much. Like, what the hell?
Wait, Judgy, do you really have a clap on, clap off? Oh my god. It goes off when you yell or laugh.
I hear when she claps on, it just blasts Eric Clapton.
Where did you get that joke?
I just made it up.
Nailed it.
I gotta go back and find what Luke said.
We love Eric Clapton.
Okay, if you guys can't tell, I'm just amateur at looking at the chat. Which is funny, because I'll be on X, like, read your chat, YouTubers, and then now I'm realizing just it's not as easy.
It is hard. It is hard. It's hard to, like, keep track of everything. So this is the part where in this audio, he's literally claiming he started World War III. Just going more to the fact that his confessions were all over the fucking place. In the first call at 3:12 a.m. on April 3rd, Allen told his dad he was losing his mind and was uncertain how much longer he was going to be lucid. Allen said, "You guys know I would never do something like I've been accused of." I don't remember hearing him say it that plainly in the call we got. Do you?
No, I'd have to re-listen to it. But again, it's partial denial in my opinion.
I mean, in the audio I heard in the call, it sounded like he was saying like, "Hey, like, if something happens later or whatever, like, don't pay attention to it." But
Yeah, I
feel
remember. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I remember him telling Kathy, like, I'll say whatever if you want this to be over with and not, have this keep affecting you, not be bothered with it. I don't know the exact paraphrasing, but I specifically remember that one.
We didn't get the first and third call. Okay. In the call, the jury heard. Wait, where did we go here? Okay, Alan felt he had been mentally tortured like he is in Guantanamo Bay and that there were drugs in his coffee and his Kool-Aid. In the call the jury heard at 5:14 a.m., Alan told his wife for the first time he thinks he called AWNLG and evidently did it. Evidently. Alan could not remember what he told his dad in the earlier call. Then, in the third call at 8:45 a.m., a panicked Alan told his wife he was not sure if his original call to her was a dream. He said he was not drinking the water, I think it says the water or the coffee, and questioned whether the attorneys who were coming to see him were his attorneys. So even when he's out of it, in and out of it, he's still questioning what the hell is happening to me. Like he's mentioning the coffee and the Kool-Aid, Guantanamo Bay, blah, blah, blah. And then he's also bringing up in a more lucid situation, he's bringing up like he thinks there's something in his coffee.
Yeah. And I think it's scary to consider that like we're getting most of this information from the state and from IDOC and, coming from an agency or partnering agency that's notorious for, I don't know, erasing video or writing over video, writing over audio. I can't imagine just what else happened that contributed to all this. But even being able to like get a hold of him saying that he feels like his coffee and his Kool-Aid's being poisoned, that in and of itself almost feels like a miracle, right?
Yeah. No, anytime he kind of snaps out of it or says something like he's realizing what's going on, it's like a miracle to me. He had the wherewithal to say some shit in between when he could. Like he gave out hints, like even with the whole sheriff thing.
Yeah, I wonder what the state response to his condition in Westville, like what are they gonna
say?
Come back with like, is it gonna be this happens all the time? Is it gonna be because I think in the brief they specifically stated that IDOC violated their own policy, and I don't know what bearing or weight that has on the actual law and the argument itself, but I just wonder if they're gonna say something like the environment he was in, even if it was a result of, or even if it was the cause of his psychosis, like it wasn't done with the intent that, like, you can't prove that the state intended to, put him in a mental state to strong harm him into confessing under, in a state of psychosis. I don't know, like, that sounds, I can't even say that the right way because it just sounds so crazy to me. You know what I mean? Where they're like, well, yeah, I mean, we just threw him in there and he ended up being, he ended up going crazy, but he still confessed, so it doesn't really matter because we didn't do it with the intent to get him to confess. I don't know. It just seems sinister, man. Like, crazy.
Technically, Dr. Martin, right, said, no, he was fine, right? He, tried to testify to that. So can the state reply back and say, oh, well, we were just going based off the word of these doctors?
Like how they peppered in, there were times where he was, like, feigning his condition and...
Right.
Yeah, even the guards, the medical professionals known as, the Odin guards told us, just the look in his eyes, you could tell. You could tell what a faker. What a faker, dude.
It's crazy. So crazy, man. All right. Now we're getting into my fun stuff. My white whales. I just wanted to put that in because they are. All right. This is the text message heard around the world, pretty much, now that the appeal has been filed. But we learned that while law enforcement was searching for the girls on February 14th, they learned about Logan Holder and Abigail Williams' secret relationship. They pulled Logan Holder out of class in Logansport and searched his phone. That moment, Logan Holder texted his father, Brad Holder, "She's missing." Now, when I created this at work today, y'all, that highlight was transparent. Oh, no. I was working so hard at work today on this. So anyway, he texts his father, "She's missing." Obviously, that's fucking weird if there's no before or after, right? And the attorneys make it pretty clear here that there's no associated context that we know of, unless the state comes back and says, "Surprise." But instantly I was like, well, what does that mean? If someone's saying she's missing, that says to me that the person you're speaking to is instantly going to know who you mean when you say she's. And it also says to me that they must have been talking about her, rather recently, because it's almost like a continued, like they had just spoken about her and now it's like, oh, she's missing. Like a continuation of something.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead. I like to think that the conversations prior to the infamous "she's missing" probably happened offline, like in person or maybe even over the phone, where obviously you're not going to, hear that. I feel like there would have been more information in the brief as far as like an exchange between the two. Maybe they were discussing over Snapchat or something before, and then Logan panicked and accidentally texted Brad instead of like going to a channel where stuff can be erased or never talked about again, right? It also could be like, if we're pulling a Mr. Benefit of the doubt, it could be that maybe he's so like freaked out and like upset because his girlfriend's missing, he just cranked it out real quick and sent it to dad like, help. I don't think that's the case, but I think like humoring that's a little important, right? Because if that were me, like when I was, how old was Logan at this time? He was like early teens? 16. Yeah. He was 16. If my girlfriend was missing, I'd be losing my mind and I'd probably be saying something like that. But again, the fact that there's a pronoun and not a specific like individual that's listed without context is like pretty problematic, because again, it's like what discussions were had about her, and especially considering that it took a couple interviews for Brad to crack and say that he knew her, and he eventually did after originally saying that he did not. That's not a good look.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So what I did was I try not to use AI like ever, because I've noticed that AI, if you use it a lot, it literally gets so used to you that it just starts telling you whatever you want to hear. It's crazy, because I've seen other people pull up their AI and I can tell by reading their AI that text is like blowing smoke up the person's ass, essentially. You know what I mean? So you got to be really careful with AI.
Yeah, it's manipulative. And I always say please and thank you, because I've seen iRobot and you never know. But yeah, no, I think that's kind of the plague of it. HEC's posted a couple like posts on X on the dangers of AI and how like there are people who have been like convinced by having a conversation with ChatGPT to like go commit crimes and it's justified in their head or do crazy things. So it's good that you're using caution. It can be helpful. You gotta do
Yeah. It can be like, and I just use it sporadically, right? So what I did was I uploaded the appeal to Grok, and I uploaded the Frank's memo, maybe. But then I asked it, you know, like, what could this mean? Knowing all this information, looking up all this information about this case, what do you gather from she's missing in this such situation? There's a lot. They broke it down like a ridiculous amount of ways and whatever. So I just kind of chose what I found interesting. Looks like it King blocked out the most important freaking sentence. But anyway, okay, obvious contextual fit. And I chose this because I feel like Oximus Razor's most obvious thing. Logan was, by his own account, Abby's boyfriend and deeply invested in her. On the day she disappeared, a vague "she's missing" to his dad, without needing to clarify who, strongly suggests Brad was already aware of the relationship and its significance. This undercuts Brad's attempts to downplay his knowledge of Abby, e.g., acting like he didn't know her well. If Brad truly had no idea who she was, the text would be nonsensically cryptic. Instead, it assumes shared context like prior knowledge of something or plans involving her. And that part really stood out to me, the plans involving her. Because that's kind of what it sounds like to me. It's like, oh, she's missing, but I was expecting her, like he was expecting her for something or somehow. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like if we're gonna assume ill intent, right? I feel like she's missing is an update. It's not like you know, it's not like an informational. It's more of like him saying she's missing could mean to Brad the police think she's missing when possibly we really know exactly where she is and what state she's in, right? If we're basing everything off the Frank's memo and all that, like that would kind of make sense that Brad would need updates if he wasn't, you know, physically at the scene at 2:13. You know what I mean? Like it could be a communication update. I think there's an element to that. I think Osbrook made a really good point. He said everyone and their mother in town and in the immediate area knew that those two girls were missing by the evening of the 13th. I mean, news crews were out there during that first search. So the excuse of like, oh, well, I was informing him for the first time ever that Abby was missing, it's just really hard to buy.
Right. No, I mean, there has to be some that we're missing the context. What's the context?
There he is. Michael came in with that. Everybody knew.
Everyone in the universe.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know again, this is just me. If my son's like girlfriend, even if it's a secret girlfriend, right? And I've met her a couple times, she seems like a nice girl, whatever, goes missing, you bet our asses are out there gonna try to find her. You know what I mean? Or like I'm getting in touch with the Patties going, you guys let me know anything I can do Like, I'm going to be in the search party, like things like that. It's just also the fact that he was like so detached from it. And I'm being very assumptive and speculative of like how connected everyone was. But when we're talking about small town like that, and for a lot of guilters to say, well, you know, why wasn't Rick there? Why was Rick avoiding it? Which is what their claim is. It's like, well, the same thing can be applied to all those other dudes.
Yeah. You guys, I think that this occurred on the 13th. The she's missing. Was this not they pulled him out of no, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been the 13th. It had to be the 14th. That's right. Because no one even they pulled him out at like 12:45. But didn't they everyone already knew they were missing that night?
I'm going back.
Right? So by the evening of the 13th, everyone knew they were missing. So
yeah. So it says it right here. I mean, they were searching for the girls on February 4th.
The date is on the screen.
What's that?
The date is on the screen.
I immediately go into like, all eyes, Sleuthy, Delphi Docs. I have resources. I'm not memorizing everything.
It's not me. It's my medical necessities. I'm sorry.
Who's judging you? There's only one person who's allowed to judge, and it's in their name.
Wait, so why didn't he already know that she was missing?
Why did Logan already know?
Yeah.
Are we assuming that just by the date of the text? Because it's like he could have known it's the first day
He's acting alarmed the next day, 12:45, and he's texting his dad she's missing. He did have school on the 13th.
I think both days they called her and said, we need to talk to your son. Okay, so Brad said that Shannon said the day the girls were missing, and both days, the 13th and 14th. Thank you all.
Right? Is this not confusing?
Yeah, and Logan did have school on the 13th because he was in a different district, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He went to a different school. You wouldn't know him. All right. I was trying to like get through the like go through the chat a little bit here. And...
Yeah. Okay. So that's the point we've been making. Him saying she's missing on the 14th, like it's news, makes no sense. To me, it stood out to me because just the fact that why are you straight up right away going to your dad and acting like he's very aware of who he's talking about when it's someone his dad is supposedly doesn't know.
So are we saying that combined with like the possibility of Logan effectively pretending like he didn't know that Abby was missing up until this point?
Right.
Yeah.
Although in the CAD report, they could not get a hold of Logan, and they couldn't get a hold of his parents either. I believe they went by I believe they went by Shannon's house or whoever. Yeah, Shannon's house that night when they were missing.
Yeah, All Eyes has given us I think it's the Brad Depot. Were you at work when Shannon called you when the girls were missing and told you the girls were missing? Yes. So it was when he was at work. My son at the time was he was really upset. He wanted to go help find the girls. And I was like, no, we need to stay away from this. Oh, forgot about that one.
All right. Michael says there has to be context.
I agree 100%.
Definitely. But then it's
like, why wouldn't, if you're making an argument, why wouldn't you say the only text within X amount of time between Brad and Logan was he's missing, right? Like,
were they on the phone?
Right, and that's why I'm wondering why that just wasn't stated. It's probably because there was some conversation to it, but I'm guessing the conversation there was no like material context to it that like was relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all very confusing. Okay. In the weeks leading to the murders, Abigail Williams had been talking with a boy, Logan Holder, and meeting up with him a few times. She kept this relationship secret from her family. On the day she was murdered, Abigail Williams invited Logan Holder to meet her on the trails. Logan Holder had school, so he declined. Okay, so Logan 100% knew where the girls would be that day. And he had school, so he couldn't go.
Okay.
That lends to suggest that it's very possible his father knew the location of the girls that day.
Yeah. Also, like, dude, you're 16, a girl invites you to skip school. It's kind of an easy decision. Like, I don't know.
Right. So did he allegedly, I mean, maybe speculation, did he ask his dad if he could? Right? Weren't you just you were saying that to me, I think. Like, what if he asked his dad, hey, can I go hang out with my girlfriend? And his dad was like, no, you need to go to school.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Yeah, and we don't know. I mean, we don't really obviously know the dynamic of like their relationship and stuff, but I mean, like him. Okay, so Brad saying, and all eyes just put this in chat too. Like Brad saying, I didn't want him out there because I didn't want him to like find his girlfriend dead. It's like I can understand that. Like if you're really trying to like protect your kid from seeing something, so and I mean, it's like it ended up being horrible. We've all seen what it looks like, whether it's a picture or photo, diagram, anything. I don't know if I'd want my son walking into that, but then again, it's like, dude, everyone was talking about how they probably just ran off with friends and they called off the search, restarted it at sunrise the next day. So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I understand you wanted to like maybe protect your son, but also how you like you're taking this more seriously than anyone else. Like, how do you know that that's going to be the end result? So that's confusing too.
Right. That escalated quickly. All right. So here, all eyes, I clipped you quoting something earlier. So you're the star of this one. So here are just some things pertaining to Brad Holder's alibi, and where we know he was, where we know he wasn't, and also him and his statements on whether he knew the girls or not, right? So All Eyes wrote this earlier. On Monday the 13th, Holder received a text from the Delphi PD asking him to call back. Holder called the officer back and had a short conversation stating that he had never met the girls. Question: if Holder got the call from the officer on the 13th saying he had never met the girls, how is Logan only finding out the girls are missing the very next day? And why is he texting his dad suggesting his dad didn't already know? What the fuck is going on there?
Okay, so this is what you meant by we'll get to that. Because again, you get the text saying she's missing, and well, I guess he called them back on the 13th, and the text that he got was on the 14th. But even then, that's weird because it's like I just found out about this girl. If like what Holder is saying is true, right? He's like, I have no idea,
right?
And then now it like comes out that their relationship was like secret. But then, I mean, again, he later on admits that he's met her a couple times, once at Pat Westfall's house. So here we are wondering exactly when did you know who this girl was? Because I think that
Right.
sheds a lot of light on she's missing. And even then, and this is kind of the point Mata made, it's like, second you get that, it's like, who the hell are you talking about? You know?
Mm-hmm. And if Holder is with Logan and he gets a call from the officer about the girls, he didn't tell Logan that he got a call that they were missing. That's weird. Also, we know that the police were constantly trying to get a hold of Shannon and Brad and Logan all night on the 13th. So they definitely had missed calls and voicemails.
Yeah. And I mean, did he get the text from Delphi PD because a tip had already been called in?
Probably. Or they were finding out about Logan being the boyfriend. I'm not sure how.
Oh yeah, okay, that's true.
I'm not sure who tipped the police in about Logan.
I thought it was Becky that tipped Brad in. Is that something I invented in my head?
Hey, classic.
Yeah, just said for whatever reason.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of you, classic overthinker, a screenshot from her. Keith, thank you for linking me to some of that. It's pretty relevant. I was at work that day that all this took place from Brad Holder. Is Brad Holder referring to the murder of Abby and Libby as all this? Perhaps he can elaborate on the girl's time of death, considering that Emmy claims Abby could have died before the video. I don't remember that. Okay, crap holder. Your alibi is all over the place. Okay, he normally works a work shift from 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. However, on the 13th, allegedly works overtime and clocks out at 2:45. Okay. The gym sign-in sheet on the 13th says he was there at 4:08 p.m. On the 14th, it says he went just hours later at 2:08 in the morning. But he manually checks in to the gym on the 13th at 1:41 p.m. when he's claiming he's still at work. But if it were a normal shift and he was off at 1:30, he would presumably be able to head over to the gym. Going to the gym at 2 a.m. is psychopath behavior. I agree.
It's not. It doesn't deliver good potty comp either. I don't know if Fiend's still in chat. He could probably attest to that. Like, who goes and lives and then like goes to work like at 2 a.m. and then you go to, when did he clock in for work? At what, 5 to like 1:30, and he's probably doing physical work there too.
Yeah. The state police asked if they could examine Logan Holder's phone, and while they were collecting the phone, they informed Logan and Brad that the girls were deceased. Oh, they must have informed them right after the she is missing, right? Must have been. Does Brad Holder sleep? Yes, because this is the only motherfucking time that he goes to the gym at 2 in the morning, okay?
Like, that was the only singular time you ever checked in at 2 a.m.
only time. Right. And on his weird Facebook entry, when he does this weird check-in, he's like, "Oh, what does he say? He's like got so much testosterone, or he's just like pumped up. I forget what the fuck he says."
Michael said he stated he was at work driving machinery and waste management in Buffalo, Indiana, until he clocked out sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. What a wide window. After work, he went to the gym, work out any time in Logansport. So my problem is, are you at the Susan case part of this, where the landfill and HR lady? Do you have that in here anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll wait.
Okay. Okay. So. So I clipped this part too. Yeah, so I want to start with, again, the 13th of February. February, a Monday. What did you do that day? Like I said, I woke up. I went to the gym. I'm pretty sure I went to the gym. And then I went to work. So he's telling them he did this on the 13th, but he actually woke up on the 14th and went to the gym at 2 a.m. on the 14th, not the 13th. I woke up and I went to the gym. I'm pretty sure I went to the gym, and then I went to work. And then I came home and everything was crazy. That's before the girls were found. Yeah. He came home and everything was crazy. We know for a fact that the police tried to reach them at their home that night, and no one was home.
And that at least either him or Shannon were contacted earlier in the day, right?
Yeah.
So we have him contact early on about it. Logan says she's missing. He doesn't want Logan to go on the search because he doesn't want his son to stumble upon his dead girlfriend, because we already know she's dead. And then he checks into the gym, and then after that, I woke up and went to the gym before work. And then he gets home, and now everything's crazy.
Right.
I think that's another problem.
Right. Okay. Once the state charged Allen, his defense team insisted that Holder and Westfall receive another look. When law enforcement re-examined Holder, he changed his story about knowing Abigail Williams. Back in 2017, he told law enforcement he never met her. But in August 2023, he told law enforcement he met her once. During a deposition in 2024, he said he met her twice. At least one of those encounters occurred shortly before the murder. Occurred shortly before her murder at Westfall's home, meaning he met her at Westfall's home before the murders, just to be clear, because it's written weird. Do we even know if it was actually him at the gym? Not one of his kids or someone using his key card. So that's the funny thing about the clock-in page that we have, is that some of the times it says already checked in, as though as if he had gone to the gym and then came back 4 hours later and clocked back in, but was still clocked in from that day. Right? So that happens a couple times. One of those times being the 2 a.m. one. Yeah, it says already checked in.
And again, most gyms have. I'll go into like a quick video CCTV rant real quick. because a lot of people have said a lot of shit that's been wrong. And I've dealt with cameras like my entire working life. Okay, I'm here to tell you, like most gyms have a basic system, whether it's like DVR, just a digital, or like an NVR, like a network video recorder. The only difference is that it's Ethernet plugs and it goes to an actual like retention system as opposed to just on the hard drive itself or like a cloud or something like that. A lot of gyms, most gyms, I don't know about workout anytime, but like your basic gyms, even private gyms have cameras. There's a lot of things that happen. It's a high liability area, right? You drop weights on yourself due to have a good morning workout, the testosterone's pumping, might want to fight each other, something crazy, all different kinds of things, all different kinds of claims are made. I've not walked into a single gym in my life that does not have at least a camera on the door. I do not know why we didn't go through full extent to like validate that. Just to check.
They didn't even work hard to check him out at all. It's like Holman was just like, nah, it's not him. I know better. And I don't feel like it's him, so it's not.
I'm not an audio systems guy. The problem that I have with it is that it goes back into like I think a lot of the central theme of this is like it's either intentional or it's so negligent that you're trying to make it look intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much like, oh well, we're not going to worry about that. Oh, the girls probably just ran off with friends. No need to like, no need to do a thorough search. We didn't collect the sticks because, there was a lot of moss and bark that was falling off of them, and we probably couldn't get a good DNA profile. Really? Like okay, that might be the case, but we have to fucking try. Like we have to try. Why are we trying? If we have enough, like Holman's deposition where he's like, oh, we've been at this for 6 hours and I'm tired. Really? We're talking about 2 dead girls. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to
2 dead young girls.
But like, what are we, dude? This is like the case of your career. Up until then, you guys were just like waiting. You guys were probably just like on Main Street waiting for a black person to turn off the freeway so you could pull them over, right? That was probably your whole day. Or like letting people go when there was a bunch of meth in their car, saying, all right, you gentlemen have a great day. And then 2 dead kids are discovered in the woods, and we can't be bothered with going to like, I don't know, check the video to see if someone got a ride to work that day. And maybe it's because they were just like laser focused on Ron Logan at the time or something like that, or Keegan and Tony. But if you need more resources, like you've got U.S. Marshals, FBI, all of these, like, yeah, I agree, Chelsea. I don't think they wanted to solve it. I actually think they wanted this to go cold and just be like a old relic town memory. And they just got a lot of rumblings from town and from the county that they were going to get completely mollywopped in this election. And I think when you get a new sheriff in town, they're probably going to expose a lot of things that you didn't do, like go to a gym and check the video. So I don't know.
I think also, too, a part of me feels like when they busted Keegan for shit at the end of February after the murders back in 2017, something scared them.
Yeah. It's very possible.
Because after busting Keegan and getting the phones, knowing the kind of shit he has, they don't move on him until 2019, 2020. Hey, Sleuthie. So It's almost like they knew about Anthony Schatz right away. They knew she was agreeing to meet with him that day. And they find out who's behind the profile. They bust in there. They see the shit on his phone, and they just don't do anything.
Yeah, and Anthony Schatz was a huge deal. The Wabash River search was a huge deal until it wasn't, and it was right when Rick was arrested. Like, it was almost never talked about again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Murder Sheet did a 3-part hit piece on Tony Klein, and I'm not trying to make a victim out of him, by no means. Like, if those claims are real, that's crazy and terrible. But it was almost like they were being primed up to, like, kind of get it out to people, to get, like, the cognitive wheels turning of, this is, like, the guy. And then out of nowhere, it wasn't. And it makes you wonder, like, how that Air Force Base interview with Carter went. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, none of that adds up, because it just disappeared. Anthony Schatz was just, like, virtually not even talked about again. At least from what I've seen. I'm sure there's people out there that, like.
Michael has an interesting comment. There is no agreement to meet with Anthony Schatz in Libby's phone data. That is true. So how did they know that was, like, the plan? Unless it's in our phone data, but not in the final data.
Sorry, I'm pulling up Anytime Fitness.
You're pulling up what?
I'm trying to get, like, a Google shot of inside an Anytime Fitness.
Oh, okay. Abby's phone, maybe. Second phone. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? All right. Let's see here. Okay. Just some of the little tidbits on Brad's alibi. When this first part, this kind of doesn't count, but whatever. When asked for an alibi, Westfall claimed he was home with his minor son, and Holder told the officers he was at work at Liberty Landfill. On April 13th, 2017, officers visited the landfill to investigate and spoke with an employee, Susan Case, who provided a printout showing Holder swiped out of work at 2:45 p.m., which was 30 minutes after the Bridge Guy video. Case invited the officers to review the video to confirm the printout's accuracy. Okay, so she said, hey, let's go watch video. Let's go find out. But they declined.
Nah, we're good.
Sam, trust you. You got it. Nor did they interview other employees. I was under the impression that they spoke to his buddy that's, like, married to his sister now. But I think maybe that was fair and seeing them. That's right. They talked to his buddy, I think. Can someone confirm? So that's huge, because they've never verified this alibi. I mean, the Gelters have been saying, oh, Brad was at work. He checked out. Yeah, I was clocking. Stupid.
He could have never did it. He didn't put himself there like Rick did.
Who's at work? Stupid. They verified it. How?
So, here's the thing. And this goes back into the theme of, like, it might have been an extra 10 or 15 minutes for them to take Miss Susan up on their offer to go look at video. And I understand that there's like not a video on the actual time clock area. Nonetheless, you could still say like, hey, 5 minutes prior to Brad's first, punch in or whatever, we saw this individual drive up, get out of the vehicle alone, go in, then the punch happens, and then they walk out and they get in the car, the vehicle, and leave. Like it could open up a lot more clues to your case. I just don't understand why like we're stopping at what we saw on paper when we like it's not even like there wasn't video there. You have an opportunity to validate and kind of seal it, and for some reason like heads were turned. It was offered. You didn't even have to ask. It was offered.
It's almost like they're so stupid that they just think to themselves, oh, well, this couldn't have been forged. Like, oh, there's no way someone would do that, so we don't need to check. It's like they're that stupid or naive.
Yeah, that or they're willfully inventing the impossibility of it, which is also like equally, if not more dangerous. When you think about that, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Why aren't we following up on it? Could you imagine if it was like Rosie's brother who was sent to go do this, and he
don't put any more blame.
Could you imagine?
On that man.
No, we're fine.
Dude, poor guy. I could just hear Brad Rosie's tone when they brought his brother up too. It's like, oh, my man. I'm so sorry. All right. Holder's social media also featured him holding guns and homemade knives. Actually, let me jump to the side. Holder's alibi was not even close to fully vetted. Whenever Holder's name was brought up as a suspect, one reason that kept popping up as to why Holder was cleared as a suspect was his purported alibi. An unclassified FBI report revealed the work, or lack of work, that law enforcement performed to check on Holder's alibi. That document is marked as Exhibit 65. This report was prepared on April 13, 2017. In this report, Pulaski Sheriff's Deputy Frederick Rogers followed up at Liberty Landfill in an attempt to verify the employment and the work schedule of Bradley Holder. Susan Case from Human Resources stated that Holder's time card showed that he clocked in at 4:55 a.m. and clocked out at 2:45 p.m. Chase also said she would be the only person that could manipulate the electronic time card. Chase further admitted that there was a security camera on site. Here is how Deputy Rogers memorialized that part of the conversation. Case advised Brad drives a junky red truck to work with the G on the front bumper. Case advised the security camera at the scales may have picked up his vehicle coming and going on that day. Case advised that Holder stays on property for his lunch break. And we're going to jump to Holder's social media also featured him holding guns and homemade knives. Winters immediately recommended to his superiors that law enforcement investigate Holder further, which they declined to do, claiming his alibi was cleared by the FBI. We know now that is not true. And that kind of verifies it through, and then, Kevin Murphy, Ferenczi.
Because it was Ryan who contacted Winters first. Ryan in Atlanta. Boucher, right?
Bouchard, yeah.
Boucher. And did we ever determine how he even had the inclination to looking at Brad's stuff?
Is it Brad? I don't know.
I think in the Franks they kind of just said he somehow and he was just like, well, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt too. He somehow found that Logan and Abby were dating and that Brad was Logan's father, which again, whatever, but the ends justify the means. I was just curious if anyone knew, because I obviously, yeah, it's really.
Real quick.
Oh, you real quick.
Cross-examination of Todd Click. That was the time frame that was popular for the investigation. Question: did you have an opportunity through your investigation to see any alibi evidence for Brad Holder? Answer from Todd Click: no, I did not. So that just further proves the FBI did not clear Brad Holder. Go ahead.
Okay. So all I said that Ryan contacted Tobe first. Tobe hung up on him, so he called ISP, which was Winters, right? I'm gonna look it up in the Franks. I'm almost positive that they just kind of said that he found it. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, and if you go to the Logan Sport Anytime Fitness on Yelp, very, very small exercise space. There are multiple cameras in different corners of this gym. And apparently it looks like a place where you could like seek cover from any potential crimes that were committed, because everyone's giving it a 5 out of 5 stars, and it's not the most impressive gym I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know if there's something going on in the basement. Could be a fight club, could be something else. I don't know. Nonetheless, they have cameras. And now a lot of you who maybe make the argument about the Hoosier Harvest store not having a camera on the front would say, oh, well, it has one now. It might not have back in 2017. Okay, cool. I talked to Kathy Pennington. Nonetheless, I will add this Logan Sport Anytime Fitness Yelp. These pictures were from April of 2017. So I feel like it's safe to say. It's safe to say that they had the cameras at the time.
Wow.
Is it Workout Anytime Fitness? Did I get the gym wrong? That'd be funny.
It's Anytime Fitness. It's Anytime.
Right? Does it Workout Anytime? Wait.
No, it's Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
Right? Is it in this?
There is a Workout Anytime that has a 1-star review, and it's probably from someone who got caught. What did your slide say? What did Overthinker? Beth. We love Beth.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, you little sucker upper. I want the fucking FBI discovery, man. That'll happen.
That's a shower holder took a picture.
Oh my God.
This chat is wild, by the way. Very fun.
Very. All right. What was I trying to do here?
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail. I thought I was on to something, and apparently I'm just another sleuth using my intuition and being wrong.
No, you are on something always. Okay. So this is a little mix of a few different things. All right. So a little section of Sloth Intuition's interview with Patrick Westwall. Not sure which one this one is. Says, yeah, because Brad Holder would come visit you in Delphi. I wondered if maybe that's when Logan Holder, his son, was meeting up with Abby and Libby or something like that. Patrick Westfall says, yeah, no. Logan would never venture away from my house and go anywhere. He stayed around with my boys in the backyard, or they would walk across the street to Canal Park or the other way across the street to the canal itself. So he never ventured off into town or wandered by himself. So earlier in this interview, Patrick Westfall was also saying it was all online, that Logan and Abby had never met, that their relationship was all online. And this is for him further saying, no, they would never meet up in person. Okay. We now know, law enforcement confirmed, that Logan and Abby met up at Patrick Westfall's house. Okay. So, why is he lying? All right. So,
Yeah, don't we also know that had Brad told him by this time that Abby had been to Patrick's house?
Yeah.
With Logan?
Yeah.
Because like show them alone. Okay, All Eyes is right, by the way. It's workout anytime. So now I'm gonna dive into this and get it right. So stay tuned.
Okay. So, an interesting part on the CAD report. All right. Speaking of Canal Park, F2 request to see if anyone has made contact with Abby's boyfriend or his parents. One of the fire units, Logan Holder, advised that he has met them at the canal. So this is suggesting that Logan Holder has met them at the canal, the girls at the canal. And they're saying the canal, not Canal Park. So that's an interesting, but they could have met either or.
Because we looked up Canal Park in Amy's chat, right? That was the
right. There is a little canal right there too.
On the other side of town that I wish I would have known when I was there. I would have gone over there and visited. But because that's on the other side of like that little downtown area up closer. It's almost like adjacent, so to speak, from Westfall's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When Holder goes to Westfall's house, he brings his son, Logan. Logan and Westfall's son generally go to Canal Park and play basketball. Holder believes that this is when Logan would contact Abby. The phone pings off Wells Tower and like random coordinates like in that general area, all in the vicinity of Patrick Westfall's house. Now, this is something I found, I forget in what document. Brad Holder lives in Logansport, Indiana. His son, Logan Holder, was dating Abby. Holder served in the U.S. Army with Patrick Westfall. Both were deployed to Afghanistan. He practices Asatru religion and is very devout to it. He formed an Asatru tribe called the Tribe of Gungnir's Path. Gungnir is Odin's magical spear with Patrick Westfall. Holder makes his own Viking-style knives and weapons, takes pictures of sticks, trees, and natural formations in the woods that he believes is God Odin talking to him. Also arranges sticks into Asatru-style symbols and runes. Many of these are posted on his Facebook page, are very similar to the Delphi crime scene. Traveled to Delphi often to practice Asatru with Westfall. He often brought Logan with him. During one of these Asatru meetings, Logan met Abby at Canal Park in Delphi. According to Logan's statement, this meeting took place the second weekend of January 2017. Holder was a Vinlander hanger-arounder, not a formal member or probate. Facebook post dated January 22nd, 2017 with Westfall in Delphi claims he was at work and got off between 2 and 4 p.m. He states he then went to Anytime Fitness. Says he got a text from Logan on 2/13 simply saying she's missing. Now this is saying on 2/13. Weird.
What is the source of that?
This is in the Fancy Click report, I believe. But let me make sure. Let me look real quick.
So it cuts off. Did they say workout anytime or Anytime Fitness?
They said Anytime Fitness.
So now we have conflicting gyms.
It's Anytime Fitness. It's always been Anytime Fitness. Always. Wait, okay. So hold on. Let me look this up real quick.
love like Frickman and JJ and All Eyes and Osbrook. They're probably like, you guys get it together. Doing this live's hard. I'm a lot cooler on Twitter.
Oops. They can judge me all they want. Find. Okay, so this is a document that All Eyes, shout out, got its known exclusions compiled. So this section for Brad Holder is from Delphi Odin report redactions from the Delphi supplemental report. That's, yeah, it's the Ferentine Murphy report. Okay. Sourced it. There you go. Doing our part.
Sorry, the Brad Holder interview says workout anytime. So that's where I'm hung up on it.
Oh.
But I'm done with it. Yeah, Michael, if I was investigating you, you'd get away with everything.
Michael, you get away with everything.
That's why I give the investigators on this case a hard time on both sides. Because if I can do it, you're a failure. Sorry, done.
Question. So Ellie went and got Logan Holder's phone on the 14th, but he texted Brad Holder on the 13th. She's missing. It's very confusing. I feel like I'm in a weird time continuum with this she's missing shit on the 13th, 14th, and how they didn't know, but they knew, but they didn't know. I'm just going to have to sit with that shit. Because
yeah,
I'm going to have to sit with that shit. Alrighty.
Logan, if you want to reach out to us, clear the air.
I'm not even going to say it.
Brad too.
Momentary break to say all of this is alleged and speculation. Thank you. Okay, so white nationalists like the Vinlanders and their connection to Asatru. Patrick Westphal was a patched-in member of the Vinlanders and argues that he isn't an Odinist but practices Asatru. Brad Holder was a hanger-arounder of the Vinlanders but created his own church with Patrick Westphal that also practiced Asatru. So I spoke to an ex-Vinlander to see what, if anything, I could align between the crime scene and Asatru that could be confirmed by someone who actually practiced it. So Odinism Asatru is a religious sect that attempts to revive ancient Norse religious beliefs and practices pre-Christian Europe. Asatru is not in itself a racist religion, though some white supremacists consider themselves Asatruists. Other white supremacists have adopted a more explicitly racial form of Asatru that is most frequently termed Odinism, sometimes Watonism. It appeals to white supremacists because it is a warrior religion, in contrast to the ostensibly pacifist Christianity, and because they consider it a tribal religion for people of European descent, as opposed to the more universal Christianity, which was also descended from Judaism. Odinists and racist Asatruers will often describe themselves as racialist, tribal, or folkish. Okay. So basically all of these white nationalist groups do this shit, practice Norse paganism, like their own weird fucked up version, right? Because it's Norse paganism, I think they think it makes them more white. I don't know.
I have an answer to that, by the way.
What?
So this is the reason why in Nazi Germany, okay, and a lot of white supremacists in America eventually abandoned Catholicism, is because it was one of the more like main subsect religions. It wasn't always, I mean, if you want to get into the semantics of it, Catholicism is a form of paganism. However, Catholics, please forgive me for that one. They were very upset that so many people of a diverse culture, Spaniards, like Hispanics, very like the broad range, even Italians, kind of harboring Catholicism, right? So they abandoned that religion and they just pretty much went and looked for something that no one else was really following. And then it kind of lined up that the dominant, specific, like, I don't want to say asatru, but like Odinism and that form of paganism was in like the Northern European territories. So they kind of looked at that and went, perfect. So there you go.
Wait, say something. I don't know if I can hear.
Me?
Okay. Yeah. Never mind.
Oh,
You're good.
You know
You're
what
good.
I just said, that whole thing?
Yeah. No, I heard you. I heard you. Okay.
I don't know if you turn on your like silent mute me button. So
No.
guys, shut the
Okay. So in the appeal, they also discuss Valisblot, which I found interesting to bring up that specific holiday. So Valisblot, or Valley's Feast, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, guys, is a modern neo-pagan asatru winter festival celebrated around February 14th, linking the Norse god Valley with the returning light and the end of winter, often blended with Valentine's Day themes of love, hope, but also vengeance, featuring feasts, bonfires, and Nordic traditions in places like Pulsbo, Washington, to welcome spring's promise over winter's darkness, distinct from historical records. The modern religion of Asatru, a form of heathenry that celebrates the Old Norse gods, decided to fill the gap left by Valentine's Day with Valisblot. Valisblot is named for Vali, Odin's youngest son, who is born, grows to manhood in a day, and avenges the murder of his brother Balder. Unlike Odin and Thor, Vali survives Ragnarok and is sort of a representation of new hope for the Norse. This is not really a day of romance, although some celebrants of Asatru blend in the day's meaning with that of Valentine's Day. Odin's beloved son Balder was killed by a mistletoe dart thrown by his blind brother. I screwed this up, but it was the trickster god Loki who orchestrated the entire event, tricking someone into basically killing Balder. So Loki was responsible for killing one of Odin's sons. Okay. This is important later. Okay, so here starts some of my conversations with an ex-Vinlander. He didn't care if I said his name. I don't really want to, because I just don't want to like be that person. However, I will say it's not hard to figure out. It's not hard to figure out if you know. If you know, if you know. Okay, so I texted him originally. I said, I just have questions about runes and wanted to see if the crime scene looks like something they do in Asatru. If it's easier, I can just send some questions, and if you can or feel like answering, cool. He said, however you want to do it. I said, you rock. So I'll start with this short clip of some guy describing what they say is some sort of initiation. So I linked that video that we know goes around. That's the video of he who shall not be named, interviewing a couple different people. I don't know who the guy with no camera on is, the person speaking in this video. And he goes on to describe, he's a Vinlander. He goes on to describe initiations for prospects. And he describes the fact that they have these prospects get a pet pig and like take care of the pig and raise the pig and fall in love with the pig. And when they, what?
Nothing. Sorry, I thought you were going in a different direction, but
no. So when they have these initiation, like ceremony, celebration, whatever the fuck you want to call it, what they do is they have the prospects that are being initiated then take said pig that they fell in love with and helped raise, and they tie it up limb by limb, upside down, and everybody proceeds to start cutting at the pig. He says that in modern day years, they're usually on a lot of meth. So he says that it gets really bloody and crazy because you've got a bunch of skinheads high as hell on meth, and they're all cutting at this poor pig that this guy just fell in love with and just raised. And then they put the pig into they inevitably put the pig into the ground and they cook it. Okay. And then they eat it. It's their little pig roast shit, right? Pig roast, pig roast.
Pig roast.
Pig roast. All right. So he didn't get back to me after that. So I messaged him again. I was like, hey, you, didn't want to keep bugging you on the daily. Had you ever dealt with a guy back then named Josh Chrisman? This is when I was looking into Josh Chrisman, who I still think is a viable person that was there.
I've never heard of the party. Before, yeah, okay.
Well, go back and watch my show. Rude. Rude. Okay. So I said, so this is an image drawn of the crime scene. I think whomever did it is basically bastardizing Asatru, kind of blurring the lines of Nordic gods, paganism with hatred. Instead of no harm to children and women, they've taken it up a notch. Do you see any similarities in the sticks? Pretty sure it's all meant to look like runes, an entrance into Valhalla. He says, that's exactly what they're doing. What in the actual fuck? I said, oh, wow. I'm so glad you see it. I thought maybe all my come to Jesus moments were wrong because I'm crazy. So that struck me that he like instantly was like, no, that's exactly what this is. Like without hesitation. Texted me back right away.
Yeah. And the fact that he could have said like, just that's exactly what they're doing, but it feels to me like it might be shocking to him that that was done to a human being, which would also explain the disagreement that two individuals that very well could have carried out this heinous crime had a disagreement about.
Right. So I say, okay, wait, next. Okay, so I ask him here, I'm like, are you okay with seeing two images of the actual crime scene? Warning, it's two teenagers, 13 and 14. Okay, so I warn him before I ask him if he wants to see a copy of the, what some of us have seen, some have not. So he says, I can handle it. Also, I think it's kind of really funny that I asked that to an ex-Finlander.
I think it's just emotional intelligence, man. I just think you're being considerate, and I praise it. You're an honorary Midwesterner.
Oh, thank you.
Is
All
it
right.
okay if I just send this over here real quick?
So I say this. I sent him the crime scenes. I say this went down in Delphi, Indiana. By the way, he says, "Oh my fucking god! 1 second, please." I say, "Yes, sir." He asks, "Have any arrests been made yet?" He says, "Between you and I, part of me hopes not, because I'm inclined to go back out there and help a few of them push up some daisies." I say, "Bahaha, I feel it." Bahaha, I feel it's infuriating. They're not supposed to harm children. It's animals. Some sicko got ballsy and has help. I'm pretty sure we earthquake.
Like for
Fucking
real?
earthquake. For real.
Like DB for real? For real?
For real. For real. Earthquake. You guys,
I thought something
I'm
bumped into
sorry.
your desk.
I'm sorry. I know it's been an hour and 45 minutes. Really quick detour. I live near this city called San Ramon in California, and it's been in the news lately because we're having swarms of earthquakes on the daily. Like, we're gonna have the big one. Like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, your Christmas
Definitely
tree
gonna die.
still shaking.
Yeah, so you guys just witnessed.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, shut up. You guys just witnessed one of those. I'm gonna
I'm not gonna
die.
lie, I hope you're okay, but that was kind of awesome.
Real live action, guys. Where else can you get this?
That was Odin. How dare you speak?
How dare you? It was a 4.0.
Holy cow!
Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow!
Wow.
It's like my favorite Vine ever when that chick is like vaping and the camera pans over to the guy and he goes, "Wow."
Wow.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, so no, you're fine. Some sicko got ballsy and has help. He said, "I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. That was more upsetting than I anticipated." I said, "No, I get it." I'm trying not to shake anymore. I said, "Oh, I don't know if you saw this when I linked it last week, but some guy who's also been involved discussed a party of some type where they hung a pig up, and it sounds like what I think may have happened prior to the murders. Like, shit got crazy, and whoever was like, let's up the ante." That's always been kind of one of my thoughts. Like, they were having one of these like ceremony things. And then I linked him again. I said, "No prob." And he said, "I have to agree. Also, I really hate to admit it, but that was a workaround of one of my ideas." So I said, "Do tell." Okay. He says, "Well, at one of our regional meetings, I brought up a test for our probates. Have them get a puppy, a kitten, or pot-bellied pig. During their time, they name it, raise it, bring them to meetings. Make sure they fall in love with the animal. Then make them kill it in front of us to prove loyalty to the patch." Holy shit. He said, "Not one of my finer ideas, and thank God it got voted out." I said, "Did I mention one of the victims, Abby, who was left dressed, was dating Brad Holder's son?" He said, "No shit." I said, "Who would have easily wanted to join?" I said, I said, "Brad was like in charge of recruiting back then too, before giving it to Westfall." So he said on Facebook anyway. Okay, so he says here in this text that he brings up this idea and it gets voted out. But you've got this other guy who says he fucked around with the Vinlanders and went to this party and describes exactly that, but with a pig. So Brian James or whomever must have adopted some version of this in some other way.
It reminds me of like, it was the Kingsmen where like they had to like raise a puppy, and then to prove their loyalty, they were like given a gun that had it was empty, it was blank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he tells them like shoot the dog. which is like messed up, by the way. Weird thing to put, especially for those of you who like have studied film. We call it a dead end. Like it just everything, every emotion you had in the film leading up to it, probably after, just drops off. But
Right.
I think this is also like a hardcore military thing to kind of like prove your dedication and to desensitize you to killing.
Right. That's like a theme, proving their loyalty. That's so funny.
Skinner was on fire tonight.
Listen.
He just made me Urban Dictionary, something I wish I never did. So
Listen, I'm a mother of a 10-year-old son. You got to learn how to snap back into
Earthquake
it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So yeah, a puppy, kitten, potbelly pig.
And then we hear
Yeah.
Finlanders are doing it with pigs.
It just, I mean, it lines up as just kind of like a typical loyalty tactic. But again, I maintain, if you want to upgrade from that, there's really not a, like, you're not going to go out and sacrifice a beluga whale. It's kind of hard to do that. There's limited options, you know.
Okay, so next up, I was talking to him. He's talking about someone in the group right here. He said, like, he would get fucking jealous and shit, so it wouldn't shock me if the lad was told handle her to get a foothold in. He's talking about maybe Logan was, like, being pushed towards Abby to prove his loyalty, to make him, you know, get a girlfriend. How important is this church to you now? Like, yada, yada. This is one of my working theories.
Like, yeah, like it was his initiation, and
right.
They treated Abby as if it was like his puppy or whatever, which is
right.
fucked up beyond belief. But
so that was one of my little theories. I was like, maybe that's what happened, and they were making Logan, you know, prove his loyalty. But then this appeal comes out, and you know, him texting, she's missing. I don't know. That kind of confirmed to me. It seemed like he really had nothing to do with it that day. You know. Oh fuck! Another one.
You got another one?
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh my god! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die.
Again, you spoke ill of Thor. It's coming.
I have a dining room table right here. Get the bathtub. The bathtub's for tornadoes.
Hold on, I gotta go back because I think her Christmas tree is at a further angle now.
Did it tilt?
In the Tower of Pisa.
Did it tilt?
Are you okay?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Is anyone else in California?
I hope all my haters are here tonight. You might get to see me die. You're welcome.
You know they're here. There's no hoping. You know they're here.
Woo! Shake it off. Shake it off.
No one got the joke because that game's dead now, DB. So. Is there any more from this?
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, was hey, I know you have an earthquake and everything, but chop. Sorry. That sounded really shitty.
Hold on, someone asked what decimal this one was. Let me look. 3.8.
How can you tell like immediately? You just
another one. A fucking another one. I'm so dead serious, guys.
So is it just like continuing?
Okay. Yeah, it looks okay. Let's just all be aftershocks. Okay. Let me get.
I think she just got a brand new pen today. That's why. You know I'm right.
You guys, I promise. Google it.
No, I literally like the first time I saw it, like everything shook. The camera, the tree, I thought Santa was coming down the chimney 6 days early.
Oh my god. Yeah, mommy, maybe I'll be in the news. My tree in the background. Hey, free! If this is the news, free Rick Allen. Free Rick Allen. Okay.
There you go.
Next. Oh, wait. Okay,
Do it to it.
say that one. Okay, so I said he started dating her 2 months prior, and after he started going down in school and just being awful. He told Brad's wife at the time it was because he missed her, but they only dated 2 months. LOL. I always thought it may be because he knew what happened to her. I meant what happened to her. He said, most likely, they might have made him watch or participate. Said, blowing my mind. He said, I assume both kids died pretty close to the same time, right? And for some damn reason, the name Richard Allen is ringing in my head, like I might have met him or know him. Okay. I said, yes, there's some belief. Abby may have been killed first and brought to the scene. And Libby, the nude girl, killed on the spot. Kind of like bloodletting, collecting the blood in something, then used it to make the pools of blood, and there was a blood symbol on the tree. Let me get it. But it would have been a difference in a couple or a few hours. Then I show him the picture of the tree. I said, here it is. This was the nude girl's blood in what we believe is a rune symbol. We can't see it because our little screens are covering it. He says, that's a binding rune. Okay. He says that is the F tree. He said that is a binding rune.
Cool. Got it.
All right. Now, getting into a little bit about Patrick Westphal. He had some interviews on Sloth Intuition, and I found a lot of contradicting statements and straight up lies. So he's a follower of the Acid True religion. He says there are 3. So this first little clip, it was in a Reddit post interview. Okay. So the Acid True religion, he says there are 3 different types. One of them is darker and involves the worship of Loki. He is not that branch of the religion, but at least one other person in the defense memo is. Law enforcement asked him if Acid True was related to Satanism during the polygraph, and he said it absolutely does not have anything to do with Satanism. He says he is not fond of Johnny Messer, says Johnny Messer practices the darker version of Acid True, which worships Loki, the trickster, the con artist, the kid killer, the brother killer. He tells stories about Johnny Messer and his significant others that angered him, and how he, Patrick, pulled him, Johnny Messer, aside and told him they want none of that dark Loki shit in the Vinlanders and not to come around anymore. He took his patches and stuff and kicked him from the club. Patrick Westphal, in an interview with Sloth Intuition, says, not even no rokers, as I call them, even though someone on here wanted to just completely argue that's not ever physically possible because they hold the one and only book of what can and can't happen with Acid True, apparently. I don't even know of any time where a roker of the Lokians ever had anything that's like kill people, sacrifice people. It ain't part of Acid True, man. I think there's more of like people watching Vikings TV shows and they're like latching on to that kind of shit. I know there was ceremonies back in ancient times where, the 9s, 9 sheep, 9 cows, 9 pigs, 9 humans. From what I understand, that did happen. But in hundreds of years, there's no human sacrifices, even with the Rokers, when it comes to Acid True. And not even the Odinists. The prison issued Acid True guys that it's not anything that is part of their belief of it. Really, really have never heard that. Human sacrifice, maybe a chicken. Frank's memo. According to Amber Holder, Brad Holder told her that Westphal is dangerous and has powerful friends that will protect him. Holder told Amber that Westphal and his crew murdered Abby and Libby, but for Amber to back off or he would not be able to protect her from Westphal. Continued, this is from the Delphi Murders, a live question and answer with Patrick Westphal, part 2, open panel and calls in from Sloth Intuition. Says, I actually do have a couple more questions if that's okay. Sure. And then we'll go to Lewis Cipher right after you. Do you think that Johnny Messer, like himself, could have had anything to do with the girls, or like, is that something he would do? You know, he's a scummy ass person. He is one of the most low-life bastards I've ever met in my life for the short time that I knew him. I can't say that I wouldn't put it past him and his character and just the dirtbag way he chose to live life and be and present himself out in public. Like him and his girlfriend at the time, they had no problem with just basically wearing it on their sleeve that they're both just scumbag con artists and turds all around. Were they like into Asatru as well? This is Sloth. Like the Vinlanders, is that like also Asatru, or is that totally separate? Say that last part one more time. I'm sorry. Patrick says, if like the Vinlanders, being in the Vinlanders also means that you practice Asatru, or those two separate things. It's a requirement. Okay, so Johnny Messer would have also been like in Asatru. He put the hammer on just to get in the door of the VSC. So this is Patrick Westphal saying that now he's saying Johnny Messer put a hammer on just to get in the door of the Vinlanders Social Club. He wasn't a diehard belief. Okay? Completely contradicting. 1 second he's saying that Johnny Messer is the guy in the Frank's memo that's actually into the dark shit. And here he's saying Johnny Messer was never into the dark shit. He was just doing it to get his foot in the door.
Yeah, you definitely can't have that both ways.
Correct.
Could it be possible that maybe Westphal thinks that Messer is such a scumbag because he has a SOS put out on him for obvious reasons, and that's where he said, "I'm cutting ties with this guy. He sucks. He's a scumbag." Or is it maybe, you know, he initially joined the club and did a lot of things that didn't align with what they believed in? I think the one thing that stood out to me in the appellate brief, if we can bring it back to that for a second, is after examining the evidence, the BAU declined to exclude pagan ritual as a plausible explanation for the murder scene. It remains possible a new believer or rogue believer in Odinism was involved in this case. So I think tying that into how interesting it is that there's kind of like interdisagreement with the way things that, I mean, this isn't the first time that we've heard about, you know, two practicing Odinists disagreeing with the method of practice, right? Or like how something should happen. And I think, like I said this when Amy was exploring this, like in her chat, it just because everyone thinks it's like that the defense made a mistake by putting the term ritual into the Franks, and that was kind of like an over dramatization of what happened. And I think the problem is that they're conflating, like they probably think of it as like what you would see a conventional ritual is in the movies, like a seance and there's a bunch of candles lit or something crazy. It does not have to be that. It doesn't have to be that extreme to be ritualistic in nature. Does it make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Like if they, again, a theory, if they hoisted Abby up and drained her blood, that in and of itself could be considered like a ritual. But Perlmutter says very similar in her book that like it could be the most basic misinterpreted thing. You could have someone doing a Satanist ritual and they're not even a conventional Satanist. So I think we pump the brakes on like saying it was a mistake to claim it's a ritual. It's like, well, ritual is a conceptualization. It's kind of what people make it out to be in their own mind. And I think that's evident with kind of the Odinists and the Vinlanders, that like there could be rogue Vinlanders that went out and did this, that they have their own belief and, you know, whatever. And I think I also think it's very beneficial that you talk to someone who has like experienced this and they say like, hey, there's some similarities, but also the kids are off limits. You know what I mean? There's limitations. That's it.
Thanks, Skinny, for not wanting me to die.
Yeah, that's very nice.
That's very sweet.
You also got you have demands. No dying.
No dying.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was just like, All Eyes was talking about how like Sleuth was saying poor Patrick, and it's like, yeah, I think everyone has been. I don't know why. Like Susan Hendricks, Sleuth, even the Hulu documentary kind of made it seem like he was like, "The fuck are you guys talking about?" You know,
Right.
which is odd. At the same time, you know, anyone, I'm sure there's some professional journalists out there that'll tell us seduce and betray is a very effective strategy. So, you know, when you're trying to build rapport and someone's making themselves out to be the victim, you kind of roll with that a little bit. Sorry. Dad's like, do you feel that earthquake? That was fucking crazy.
He did. You feel those earthquakes? Nah.
I was on the shitter. That was wild.
Okay,
Right,
so no problem. So that was never his really choice to be, you know, also true. Okay, so Patrick Westphal, Beeline. So Sleuth says in another, they were con artists. This is referring to Johnny Messer and Taylor Honaday. Yeah, absolutely. And that falls back to that Loki and shit. The trickster, the con artist, the kid killer, the brother killer. I don't like that. And I was picked up on that kind of vibes off him. He's just a shady son of a bitch. And you don't know until you hang around with someone long enough to pick up on blah, 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 bitch, bitch, bitch. He hates him. Okay, and that circles back to the thing I already showed earlier. Okay. So he's talking about this dark level of like Asatru, right? That's like more about Loki and Lokians. And that he doesn't fuck with that shit. But one member of the Frank's memo does, and it's Johnny Messer, but not really, because Johnny Messer also didn't do it at all. But I wanted to point out, going back to Valisplot, that this celebration was to celebrate the vengeance of killing Loki. Okay. So this like whole holiday for them during that time was kind of centered around Loki as well. So I just found that really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's also speaks volumes to the fact that Loki is notoriously depicted as having antlers, horns.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know, again,
That's right. That's right.
We're allowed to stretch. We're allowed to conspire, speculate, make shit up. I mean, the Guilters the Guilters have made a lot of funny claims just since this brief has come out. Okay, let me tell you what I'm hearing right now, because again, we're all into filings made against Leland for prosecutorial misconduct are not valid because Judge Gull already ruled on it. Take that one to the bank. This will go nowhere because the Indiana Supreme Court is already aware of the case. That one's my personal favorite. Like, they were claiming that because the reinstatement of Andy and Rosie went to the Supreme Court, that there's like a grudge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rick was not in solitary confinement. We already covered that. Rick's confession that he had a sex addiction supports the argument that he was going to assault the girls, which is also funny to me because, again, anyone who has a sex addiction, I would hope and I would think that you would probably find more on their search history.
Yeah.
Okay. Rick never said anything about wearing a sweatshirt. Lie. There was no DNA from Rick because he was smart and because the girls crossed the creek. The creek removed the DNA.
Mm.
And my personal.
But not all of the DNA, just Rick's.
Well, and also they crossed the creek prior to any like contact being made, as far as we know. If you look where the blood is, it's kind of ridiculous.
Right.
The prosecution did not need DNA in this case because they had enough on Rick already. That one's actually my favorite. All right, I'm done.
No, you're good. So, you guys, the reason why I got off on a tangent there about more into like Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal is because I think that the appeal touches on that quite a bit, as far as the third party suspect goes. So, and this appeal kind of just answered some questions for me that I had previously. And it's looking more and more like Brad and Patrick were both lying all the time, and we don't know why. But to TBD, we also got to find out what the fuck's going on with the she missing. Was it February 13th or February 14th? Because that's fucking weird.
Yeah, and I think the ultimate question, tying back to the brief, is I can understand why they're lying their ass off, right? Especially if they were like get information that the sticks on the girls look like runes. You know, I can understand why Ron Logan lied his ass off.
Right.
Like, he very well still could be a part of this. He could be guilty. Nonetheless, I understand why he lied his ass off, whether it was not wanting to be caught for killing two girls or whether it was he was driving around and drinking when he got his final warning for that. The problem is that Tony Liggett lied. And why would Tony Liggett lie for these people? Why would Delphi, Carroll County ISP, why would they lie for these people? I have my theories, but it just, again, you're either so stupid that you're negligent and lazy that you're negligent, or you're intentionally being negligent to just not follow up on things because you know where it's going to go. And, you know, if you don't investigate, the best cover up is not investigating something, right?
Right.
You're like, oh, cleared. We never looked into it. Not a problem, which is what it looks like with everything related to Brad Holder. Right. Every tip that came in was like almost immediately cleared. The interviews are gone. I don't know.
It's also highlighting the fact that there's way more evidence against these guys than there ever was against Rick Allen.
Yeah. I think where you're talking about Nexus, there's like the fact that, and again, I mean, that's the number one thing. And I think that's where like the theme of the state's response to this brief is going to be, is like, it's going to be your typical guilt or talking points, right? Well, Rick put himself there. Like none of any of the stuff ever matters because, well, Rick put himself there. And none of these other people can be placed there that we know of right now. I think the geofence might help a little bit with
that'd be beautiful.
Unknown phone 1, 2, and 3. By the way, can I just like say something real quick? Like, can I have like 2 minutes? Even though I've already been talking. Okay. I recently visited Delphi, and I think like people who have been there before might agree with me, might disagree with me. I think it's vastly different than the pictures and the videos that you see. Like when you're actually there, it's different. One of the things that stood out to me the most was like comparatively from the Freedom Bridge to like where the trail terminates and the Mona Bridge starts. Comparatively, that's a long trail compared to the bridge itself, right? So it's like you walk this trail, you pass by mirrors, you keep walking this trail, and then like boom, everything is like the bridge, the creek, the view of like the south end, and you know the crime scene kind of, you know, was around the bend of the creek, so you couldn't directly see it from standing on like where they cut the bridge off. But it's also like you look at like where the service drive is, and again, like it's just different than pictures. It's like when someone shows you a video of like fireworks on their phone, like a fireworks show, and you're like, okay, it's underwhelming, right? And then you actually go see a fireworks show in person. That's how different it is, at least from my experience. And like it doesn't make sense. Like it has all the makings of an abduction. It has all the makings of like, and I don't care what anyone says, I think that cemetery was way more involved. Like I don't know if the cemetery's talked about enough. But also
Exactly 7 minutes from the cemetery to Patrick Festival's house, and there's a 7-minute break in the phone data.
And also, like when you're, I think the best, like, check out Amy's video where they're driving on 300 North, but they're heading westbound instead of eastbound. The first thing I thought to myself was like, holy shit, this is open land. You would have to want to get caught walking on the north side of 300 North, heading westbound. Like where Sarah, because again, Sarah Carbaugh is like my mortal enemy because I just think she was a pick-me bitch who like just was like, I'll say whatever you guys want, just like get me into this, right? You had to want to get caught parking at the CPS building when like on the east side of 300 North, when you turn like left, there's like a little there. That's where the cell tower is, right? Like parking there is so inconspicuous, and you could have entered through the cemetery. The private drive again, like it's very, very like just desolate. Like no one fucking knows you're there. I think the only reason they saw Amy and Julie there was because they had like some kind of surveillance or whatever. But before, like in 2017, there's not a single soul would know you were there. It has all the makings of an abduction, and just the state's theory. I completely understand why the defense wanted to take the jury out to the scene, because the second you step there, the second you step at like the cutoff of that bridge, you go, there's no way that like, there's no way like someone could get two girls across the creek, kill them, walk up through the cemetery out to 300 North and like get away with it, unless they just wanted to get caught. When you're standing at the Freedom Bridge and the freeway's right there, and like as you're coming eastbound towards like the end of like the intersection of Main Street, you're so exposed. It makes no sense to me that Rick would even be standing there whatsoever. Sorry, I could go on about this forever, but like there's so many little things. Like if you guys have the opportunity to ever go there, please. Because when you're there, you're like, there's no way he did this alone, and there's no way he wouldn't have been seen by who was at the Mears lot at the time that like he was walking. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
So sorry. I just like.
No, you're good. I don't know. So do you think no person was there? She saw no one.
What do you mean? Like Sarah
Carbaugh.
Dude, I don't even like know, because when you're, so here's the other thing too, and this is how I know this. I got actually out of the car at the cemetery. Now, I didn't walk down to the scene or anything like that. Like I peeked over the fence, and I was like, I'm not gonna like trespass or anything, or risk anything. I was alone too. When I was on the bridge, Bugs, when I was on the bridge, I heard like this weird noise, like coming from like that direction, like where Ron Logan's house was. So I like hightailed it back to my truck, and I went around and I did a drive down 300 past the Delphi U stores. That's what it's called now. I get to the cemetery. There's some lady in the cemetery spinning her tires, trying to get her like fucking Toyota Camry out of the snow. Because I was there just like again, we're talking within this month. I like it was hilarious. I helped her get her car out of the snow, but I was like, do you want like me to like push? She's like, yeah. She goes, I'm gonna stay on the phone with my girlfriend. I don't know if you know like what's happened around here. Oh, and I joked and I was like, well, they caught the guy. But anyways, I pushed her out. But I'm telling you right now, I heard spinning tires in the cemetery, and this girl revving her engine trying to get out from the bridge. Like I'm not going crazy. So it's like it doesn't make sense to me that like the people that were out there. And again, I'm there in December, right?
Right.
JJ, I could absolutely hear from the bridge. For what's worth, someone described BG exactly on 300 at 6 p.m. All I could say, well,
That's because it's Dave McCain.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It when you see it with your own two eyes, it just doesn't make sense that someone would park at CPS and walk all the way through that little service path to where Freedom Bridge is, risk being seen by like any passerby cars, risk being seen by people walking the trail, and like you can come to that conclusion just reading the material. You're like, that doesn't make sense. It just like you're walking this long trail. The Mears lot is like awfully small. All the leaves were off the trees, so it's like you could clearly see the houses from there. You could see this like bum ass shack that was like completely broken down, which again, where that comes from. But yeah, it's just yeah. And I snuck through there. I let some trusted confidence know I was going. But yeah, I stopped at a bar in Kokomo and talked to the bartender, and I played it off. I'm like, do you know where Delphi is? I'm like, she's like, you mean Delphi? Like, yeah. Then immediately volunteered all this thing, and like the bartenders there were like, yeah, uh, uh, the guy apparently took pictures of the bodies and developed them at the CVS he worked at. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
veins popping out of my head because I'm playing dumb. I'm like, wrong, right? But then they were like, but also like, you know, you're not a cop, right? Because it was a sketchy investigation. So it's like the way people, even locals, are thinking out that way. It's bizarre. So sorry, I'm done.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could go. Delphi.
Yeah.
My wherewithal to hold back for the family's feelings is gone. Wherewithal. Are you making fun of me, woman?
All eyes has my back. The searchers heard each other loud and clear all morning. I couldn't agree. And again, I was out there when like not a single other soul was out there. And they've got that place peppered with cameras now, rightfully so. They have this like giant solar panel that I'm pretty sure could power like at least the coffee shop, let alone all of downtown Delphi. But it's like routed to the lights and the cameras there. So they definitely beefed up the security of it. But I don't know, man. Good Lord. It's just like being there. You're like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, there's too much sound. And that helps, though, because in the BG video, we hear what sounds like an automobile, right? Who knows where that sound's coming from?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think like part of me, like when you see the bridge, I'm like, I could get across that in like minute and a half, 2 minutes. I don't know. I'm probably like either over or way under exaggerating that, but like if I wasn't deathly afraid of heights. Oh, by the way.
Uh-oh.
By the way, you could see into the rock bed of the creek. Now, in the dead of winter, fish hide because they're looking for food sources, and you're not going to find it in a running creek there because stuff dies off much more frequently in the summer. So I didn't see fish, but you can understand why someone was trying to look for fish because it's visible.
Very visible. Interesting.
Now I'm done.
Verified. The fish. No, there was no fish, guys. No fishy.
Yeah, no fish, but like if there were, you could see them.
Mm. All right. Do you guys, before we go, do you guys have anything about the appeal that you wanted to like bring up? Bueller.
We definitely got to go back and like read full chat after this so we can get there with it.
That's all you, boo. Lawyer Lee saw fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
they've
mean,
both.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
The Fiend and Spooky have both gone out there and gotten video of fish from platform 1.
No, totally get that, and I'm like happy to reinforce that. I think like what I don't know where my mind was is like, there's a difference between like, can you go out and see fish? Yes. Is it reasonable to like even try to do that as a fishing a fisherman? Even more supportive. Like you're like, what's flipping around out there?
Skitty, you okay?
Was it part of your initiation?
Oh.
Yeah. He was the one that told him he saw a man with like a bright orange jacket, right?
Orange like tan? Orange could be tan.
Did anyone like validate that Sarah Carbo wasn't colorblind? Like, I'm not trying to be ableist. I'm genuinely concerned. I'm like, did we ever like make sure? Do we do a test? Blue's a primary.
You guys are killing me. Y'all, no more earthquakes. Let me tell you real quick, earthquake update. It started at 7:41 p.m., a 2.5. Then at 7:49 p.m., a 4.0. Then 7:49 p.m., 26 seconds, a 3.8. Then 7 p.m., 56 seconds, another 4.0. And then a 3.1, and then a 2.9.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a single soul validated that Sarah Carbaugh wasn't a liar. Well, Andy kind of did. But also the fact that she said that she knew about the girls because of an Amber Alert at trial. We didn't check that, but it happens.
Keith, I'm trying to talk about my impending death.
Bugs, if I was your dad, I would, tonight, when you're sleeping, I would sneak in and get under your bed and then just start, like, shaking it. I would shake the shit out of that bed. That'd be funny as hell.
I couldn't.
What? Sarah Carbaugh's father, a trucker, was in Evansville at the time of the killings there.
Bro!
Well, I'm not.
Clip that shit. Clip that shit. Holy. Michael just casually dropping that little piece
Does
of
Amy know that?
information on a Friday evening.
Fun fact, the house, I believe it was the house that Westfall was renting. The original owner of that house, it doesn't mean anything. The original, like the owner of that house that was renting it, their legal surname is Whiteman.
Oh my God, weird.
Right?
Weird. Hold on,
well, I'm gonna find
copying and saving this forever. That's wild.
You think her dad, like, as a truck driver, is mowed down a bunch of people? Since she gets, very close to people on the road, walking on the road.
Dude, there's a connection in Evansdale to that pig farm, the pig delivery driver. The killer of the victim of those two girls, that double abduction in the area, that guy. He helped transport pigs. And now this guy Sarah Carball's dad, a trucker, was in Evansdale at the time of the killings. Was he a transporter of livestock?
Hey, you know what else is crazy about that? The FBI has come out with like a report that there's a significant truck driver serial killer connection. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I know there's like rolling theories that the Florence, the Stevenson case was possibly a truck driver, but I drove by there too. Just again, unassuming.
Michael.
Well, Michael Spooks is gonna set up a live and have you on for it.
I love you.
Can you imagine that? Don't do it with Bob. Do it with Bugs.
Dude.
Osbrook spills the tea.
Yeah, I'm like the TMZ of Delphi. Okay, so if you wanna get trashy, I'm your girl.
I'm the National Enquirer of Delphi. I'm like, maybe this is true, maybe it's not.
Bro, what the fuck? That is
Sarah
blowing my
is
mind.
lying. Sarah's one of the bigger liars. That's not an officer in this case. Sorry. What were you saying, Bugs?
No, I was saying this is blowing my mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
If he's a livestock driver, bro. And then someone was talking about Josh Chrisman. Yes, that's another livestock driver who didn't have an alibi. And he lied about having an alibi. Come to find out, he didn't go to work that day. He was a livestock transporter, and he worked with Elvis very closely. And him and Elvis worked together all the time. And that was his connection.
Wasn't Kurtz doing that?
I believe Amy said that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole. Sorry, one more thing from the brief that I loved.
Keith is like, by the way, we're still talking about the appeal.
I can't stand people that say, like, I've been saying this, but I'm going to be that person. And when they put in, I got to find it. It was, hold on, give me a second. Because I posted it. I clipped it and posted it. But it was
Real
about
quick.
It was about Rick's jacket.
Michael Osbrook, Josh Chrisman, and it's spelled Chrisman. He's in the Franks memo. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, here it is. Had the court known Allen simply admitted to owning a blue or black coat, as does probably every 50-year-old man, it would have known there is no connection between him and Bridge Guy. And I love that, because I literally will tell people when they say, well, he said he was wearing this. And it's like, even if Rick had, which he didn't, but even if Rick in that interview was like, yeah, I was wearing what do you want? I was wearing a duck canvas. I was wearing a bill. I was wearing a brown sweatshirt, brown hooded sweatshirt underneath, blue jeans, boots. Even if he said all that, which he didn't, guess what? Walk down the road in any small Midwest town and tell me you don't see at least like 2 or 3 of the same dudes.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I just love that they put that in there, because it's like, I'm glad we're finally getting to like logical conclusions from Mullen and Liggett sitting there and saying, like, it's just such a stupid argument. Like, this is why I think Rick is completely innocent, not just like not guilty, completely innocent, because you should be able to, whoever you are, you should be able to walk a trail wearing whatever you want, and you should be exempt from the state fucking with you for those 2 reasons alone. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong. And it's like, I don't know how we got to the point, let alone where we're implying that Bridge Guy's the killer, and then we're implying that Rick's Bridge Guy, which is what they desperately needed to happen for this case to work. And then are we really reserving ourselves to the same jeans and jacket that are owned by hundreds of thousands of people. It's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So, weird. Everything is really weird. And the other thing connecting, going back to the random, because I have ADHD, well, ADD. Joshua Chrisman, the livestock delivery driver guy, there was also a connection to what they called bloodletting, was like a way that they slaughtered pigs. And there's multiple references to bloodletting and the Ferenczi Murphy click stuff. The Murphy report, at least. So, just a weird, another livestock connection. It's odd.
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
I mean,
Delphi's wild.
whoever did this has done it to something before, right? Has done something like that to something before.
Good point.
Whether it's an animal or whatever.
So, Alan Prickman says, so the guy that found the bodies and the father of the girl that claimed to see BG's getaway were both in Evansdale when Elizabeth and Lyric went missing. Well, that's normal. You heard it here.
Because they tried like hell to put Rick there at the time, and it wasn't working out.
I've always thought there was a connection to Evansdale, y'all. Like, don't tell me those crime scenes don't look similar.
I think it's two girls.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
Two girls spread out. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Kind of like a desolate area.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, I know desolate's the best word.
Thank you, Cecil. We're doing a Cecil.
I love that all eyes. I love what is it? Gray Hughes thinks that Brad Weber scared Rick, so he gets them down the hill and across the creek, and because he's so scared and he's got to get the hell out of there, that he has him undress, then he has Abby redress herself, and then he kills him, and then he walks up to the cemetery.
This is the Evansdale crime scene, y'all.
Yeah. Is that creek right there?
That's a creek right there. There's water.
So were they found like kind of pointing towards each other, or were the bodies moved by the time they were? Yeah.
They wouldn't confirm, but there's literally no information about the Evansdale crime. They keep it so close to the vest.
Huh.
Rochelle, I wish I knew. I'm dying to know that. Like I said, like we know nothing about the crime scene or the bodies or the cause of death or anything. So Pat Brown is the other guy. So Sarah Carval's dad and Pat Brown. Find that connection, guys. I mean, besides that.
Sarah, if you want to come on and clear things up.
To the TMZ of Delphi.
Come on. TMZ, National Enquirer will get you over to TMZ. We'll get it worked out.
Yes.
I mean, listen, no one's going to believe you because everyone's making things up nowadays. So you have nothing to lose.
Come on down.
Just don't join the stream from your car.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's highly likely that this is a repeat offender. Yes, and I would think that it would be, if they were connected, a ceremony that has happened now more than once. Because they practice this weird shit. That's just more speculation. All right. Well, this has been so much fun.
Did you see
What? What'd you say?
Osprey's chat?
What do you say? Oh! Michael! I was about to say bye, but now I'm like, hi.
Was he deposed as it relates to Evansville? Or Delphi?
Oh, that's a very good question. Whew. Whew. My God, Michael, I don't know what I did to deserve this gift, but thank you.
Yeah. We could do a whole Meme Girls on Papa Carbaugh.
Oh my God.
Where's
Oh
Luke?
my God.
Where's JJ? Let's get it.
Fuck.
Okay, for Delphi.
Lying liars who lie. So why was Sarah Carbaugh's daddy deposed? Why would he be deposed if
Why
we
the
were to
hell would
think
he
about
even
it?
be a part of it?
Because he's a truck driver. A group of serial killer Midwesterners
Yeah.
who love to transport pigs.
Well, if it's a Midwesterner, history kind of shows they don't get caught until like the 5th or 6th. Damn it, I had 6, 7 opportunity there. So maybe Ives was right about hoping it happens again. Don't know.
Ugh.
I'm giving him a hard time.
I don't think they ever could do it again because then they know that.
So he was deposed in Delphi because of Evansdale.
Because of Evansdale. Look, I was like 30 viewers to 40 viewers all night. 47. Everyone was like, excuse me, what? They heard it like a dog whistle.
You know, it's Friday and everyone's either out doing something or hate watching other people if they're not here. If they're not here, you only need a core 40. These are the dogs.
Oh no, this is the core, the best people.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
No, I don't need a bit. I love everyone in this chat so much.
Just start picking on Lauren. You'll get.
Oh my God! If I start making fun of Lauren Matthias, I will be so popular, guys.
Yep.
I need to break down why Grayson is the juror.
Yeah, and trust me, Tim's connection.
Yeah.
Depose trusty Tim. Cool.
All right, guys. That was a lot. I don't even know what to do. I'm gonna like rewatch this last half hour and just study it.
Yeah, me too. I'm eventually gonna join M to talk about Sharon more because I'm obsessed with that, but I have a new obsession, which is Papa Carbaugh.
Michael, you did great on Defense.
Yeah, you did great.
You were so good.
Yeah.
For real. from a faux out.
Also, don't let a guy who completely had an opportunity to do well in a Hulu documentary and fumbled miserably scare you.
Oh, Brett?
No. Well, yeah, Brett's an idiot too. I'd love to see Osbrook and Brett go head to head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not even fair.
Yeah. If Brett were to have ever been assigned to a case, his defendant would be like, what is this wet paper bag you guys gave me? What is this?
Okay, we keep getting sidetracked. We're like,
Right,
we're gonna go, but not. Wait, Salty mad at Hella now. Why? What's the tea? What's the tea? No, I gotta go.
We'll do a part 2 if I'm allowed to join.
Part 2 of the tea. All right. Love you all. Thank you guys for being here all this time. It was longer than I ever thought. Keith, thank you for being my emotional support puppy.
Hey, just don't hang me up and gut me, okay?
Okay. Okay.
As a part of the
At first, I did not get it, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
I'll forget.
But-
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
No,
Bye.
bye. Take care. Pleasure joining.